The Buffalo Bills had a big victory on Saturday over the Fish down in Miami. And it was a big victory, even though earlier in the day the Bills had qualified for the playoffs when the Jacksonville Jaguars eliminated themselves by losing to the Titans. It made a big difference because the Bills were going to be the 7th seed and have to go back to Miami the following week, or be the 2nd seed and host the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that's just huge to have a home game. And you know both teams wanted it. They both wanted to be the AFC Eastern Division champions. And for the 4th year in a row, the Buffalo Bills came away with it. Now, as far as the game, in the first half, the Bills defense was having a hard time stopping A-Chain on pitches. And they made a good adjustment at halftime to move Taron Johnson over a little bit, and that really slowed that part of the game down as Taron started blowing up those run attempts. So I felt like that was a great adjustment by our defensive coaches, and it made a big difference because in the second half, the Dolphins really had a hard time moving the ball at all. And the Bills left a lot of points on the scoreboard in the first half, or off the scoreboard in the first half, because in the red zone, Josh made a couple of bad decisions. He was intercepted, and then he had a fumble that would have at least been 6 points right there, if not 14, intercepted in the end zone, which Eli Apple brought out to the 3-yard line, which was definitely a mistake. But, yeah, so the Bills left some points off the board that really could have made a big difference in the ball game. Luckily, those didn't come back to bite them, although it was 14-7 in the second half. And it appeared that the Bills' offense wasn't going to be able to score on their own, and that we might need some help from a different part of the team. Now, the different part of the team, I was rooting for a defensive touchdown, as, again, the defense was shutting them down, and was hoping that maybe we could get one of those pick sixes. But ended up being special teams that came through for us with the big play, the turning point play of the game, as they punted, the Dolphins punted down to inside the 10-yard line, which a lot of people wanted Hardy to just let that ball roll into the end zone, but I didn't. I wanted a big return from Hardy. I've been waiting for one all season long, and finally we got it as Hardy returned it. I think it was 96 yards for a touchdown. And there was some great blocks on the play to open him up, which it always takes on a punt return to have a good return. And big props to Poona Ford for not even letting the punter get involved in that play. And I loved watching Poona chase Hardy down the field after he made that block. So that made a big difference. And then the Bills got the ball back and went down the field and took the lead now with a touchdown pass to my boy, Dawson Knox, and got the big go-ahead touchdown. Late in the game, they were trying to run the clock out. They went for it on 4th down. They were successful, and on the tush push, or what we call in Buffalo the snowplow, and got the first down. And then they tried again, and they went into a little bit of a different formation. They were almost in the victory formation to push, which meant 3 guys behind him instead of 1. And they weren't quite able to make it, gave over the ball to the Fish. But my point on this is Murray was inactive. I've really, really liked the way Murray has been pushing Josh's tush to get the first down. He grabs right a hold of Josh and pushes him where he wants him to go, and helps Josh get the first down. In comparison, playoff Lenny missed almost completely, whiffed. And then when they brought 3 guys in, Gilliam wasn't quite as good. Earlier in the year when it was Davis, I really didn't like that because, I mean, our running backs know how to hit holes, so let's let him hit the hole with Josh being the ball, I guess. So, you know, I'd like to see Murray in the game. I know some people think that's not a good enough reason to have a running back play in the game, but when it's 4th and 1, I'd like to have the best guy in there to help me get the 4th and 1. So that's my thought on that. Now, they might be able to do that this week because Ty Johnson did get a concussion in the game, so Murray may be the running back this week anyway if Ty is out with that concussion. So then Murray will go back to being the driver of the snowplow. So we'll see what happens on that. But the game was a good game. It was an intense game, but the Bills came out victorious. There were a lot of Buffalo Bills fans at the game. I mean, you could hear it during the broadcast how loud Bills fans were being. Even Dawkins had a story that he had lacerated his finger and had to go in and get stitches in the locker room, and they didn't have the TVs on, and he only knew about the touchdown because he could hear how loud the crowd got. And then he asked what was going on, and they had to tell him that they just got a Hardy for a touchdown to tie the game. And that just shows how the Bills were going. Now, one bad thing did happen after the game, for sure, is a Bills fan and a Dolphins fan apparently got into it. And, I don't know the whole story behind it, but a Dolphin fan pulled out a gun and killed a Bills fan. And, this is actually the second time a Dolphins fan has killed a fan on the other team this year, as a Dolphin fan went up to New England and got in a fight up there and knocked out a Patriots fan that ended up killing him. So, we've got to take a step back here. People's lives are worth too much. I know we all have a lot of passion for football, and we love our teams. Believe me, I bleed this team. I don't have 60 autographed pictures that I individually got behind me, autographed by each and every player on the team. Well, not every player. I still need 5. But anyway, if I didn't bleed Buffalo Bills colors and love this team, but I like it when other teams' fans come to our stadium, get to know some people from other cities. I'm not going to rub it in anybody's face if we win, and I don't expect it to be rubbed in my face if we lose. Last year, after the Bengals defeated us in the playoffs, I did see a fan flip off a young fan, a child that was crying in the seats, and he put the bird right in his face. And, we've got to start having respect for each other, even as fans. And there's no way that someone's life needs to be taken as a result of a football game. So let's take a step back and realize that. Now back on to the NFL. Now the Buffalo Bills will take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are an interesting team, as Kenny Pickett was their quarterback, the young quarterback playing for them, but he got injured, and now Mason Rudolph is their quarterback, and he's won, I think, 3 straight games, and even though Pickett's healthy again, they're still rolling with Rudolph, and that makes it for an interesting game. TJ Watt will not be available for the game. I think he's the best defensive player in the NFL, other than all the guys on our team. But he won't be available as he got injured last week. So that's going to really hurt the Steelers. And I don't know about the weather conditions, but it probably will be a heavy running game, which Steelers are very, very good at. Najee Harris and their other running back are really, really good running backs. And so it might be a day for Cook. I don't think the Steelers are as good at stopping the run as they are as covering the pass. So, and quarterbacks seem to be able to run a lot on them. So we'll see if Josh Allen has a big day rushing the football as well as Cook. One of the things I did like about the Dolphins game really, really a lot was the distribution of the football. We had 3 players with over 80 yards receiving. In Shakir led the way with over 100, and then Diggs and Kincaid. So Josh really distributed the ball well, and then 2 other guys got the touchdowns in Sherfield and Knox. So, that's 5 different receivers all contributing heavily to the success of the team. So that means Josh is distributing the ball really well, and his accuracy was much better this game than it was the game before. Now his decision-making in the first half a couple of times led something to be desired, but hopefully we put it all together here as we host the game on Sunday at 1 o'clock versus the Steelers. I'm sure we'll see a lot of towels at the game, but I also know we'll see a lot of Mafia there, and we'll be making some noise, and hopefully bringing home the Buffalo Bills playoff victory. So we'll see more about that then. But for now, go Bills. And always, always remember, God loves you. And so